I told you guys that once this trend line would break, or if it broke, then you would be in some trouble and Bitcoin could continue down. That's exactly what has happened.
Gareth Soloway dives into crypto and Bitcoin, sharing insights and market moves. Let's watch him break it all down together.
NVIDIA down 3.25% today. Look at the trend line. I choreographed this for you guys a couple weeks ago. I said, when this trend line breaks, you'll get the break. Then we got the retrace, and now it's starting to make its way down. This break of this trend line, and I always refer to this and say, guys, it's called a trend line because it has trend in it, right? It's the trend. And so once you break the trend, then the trend is broken and you should see further downside. And I'm still on the case that I think that with margins falling and competition going up, eventually NVIDIA has a lot of downside. My first target's down to about 153, which was our former major pivot high. All right, so that's interesting there. Again, we saw mostly red out there. Names like Tesla down 3.5%. Now, Tesla's an interesting one because we had this wedge pattern breakout, retrace to the scene of the crime, and then it rallied higher. Now it's coming in again. Now, listen, it only gets kind of dangerous for the stock if it breaks below this 310 to 308 level. But still, you can see how the market can influence even a stock that's strong, that's broken out. It's still struggling here on a day like today, dropping 3.5%. And again, we saw Apple fractionally lower, Google, Alphabet actually green, Amazon down, NVIDIA, Tesla, Netflix took a hit today, and really all of the semiconductors took hits across the board, while the financials were the one shining light in the market. And by the way, JP Morgan, a financial here, you could see this. It's coming back up to some big resistance right up here. This is going to be on my list to short next week should it hit this 305 level. 305 is going to be a big level there. Bitcoin. Rolling over. I told you guys that once this trend line would break, or if it broke, then you would be in some trouble and Bitcoin could continue down. That's exactly what has happened. And I'm still in the camp that I think you'll have a little support around this pivot around 105,000, but really it's probably headed to 100,000. 100,000 is going to be a big technical support level. All right, so we'll watch that. But again, Bitcoin down another 4% today, folks. A nasty drop on that. And ultimately, again, you saw the beautiful double top right here. It pierced and then came back in. This candle is a candle I highlighted. If you know technical analysis, anytime you make a new all-time high and then have a nasty red candle that engulfs the previous green, so see how much bigger it is and closing even below the low of that previous green candle, that is a bearish reversal signal. And you can see what happened. It came down and even just took out this trend line very easily with a couple bounces along the way. So again, in general, I'd be looking for Bitcoin to get bounces at key levels like the 105,000 point, but I think it might be headed down to 100,000. That'll be a major technical level.
Bitcoin's explosive rally has created a wave of newly wealthy travelers, and luxury travel companies are racing to meet their demands. Private jet firms and high-end cruise operators are now embracing cryptocurrency payments, making it easier for young crypto millionaires to spend big on unique experiences. FX Air, owned by FlexJet, has already seen a surge in demand, charging around $80,000 for a transatlantic flight. Chair Ken Ricci explained that many of their new clients are Bitcoin entrepreneurs who want larger planes and faster service, with time being the ultimate luxury. The crypto boom has also reshaped the luxury cruise market. Virgin Voyages now offers a $120,000 annual pass purchasable in crypto, while Seadream Yacht Club quickly followed suit, offering its super luxury voyages to Bitcoin holders. Even boutique hotels such as the Pavilions and the Kessler Collection accept cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, Litecoin, and Dogecoin, making high-end travel more accessible for digital asset holders. Analysts say younger generations are driving this trend, valuing freedom and flexibility over traditional luxury. With Bitcoin wealth skyrocketing, these travelers are less interested in golden chandeliers and more focused on choice, speed, and unforgettable adventures.
Gold today continued to rally up. Now, the kicker on gold is this, is that it's getting closer and closer to testing its all-time high, which happens to be this longer-term trend line. Now, using technical analysis, the way you would view this will be major resistance until proven otherwise. Now, I'm hopeful that it's proven otherwise because I have some longer-term holds on gold, but I still have to respect the chart. And the chart tells me that this 3480, 3500 level is going to be big resistance. I want to watch and see how it behaves next week when we go into that level. So keep an eye on gold. Again, near term, kind of a mixed bag, still generally a little bit negative unless we get through this level. Longer term still looks amazingly good. Now, silver today, look at the move on silver today. Beautiful push up. I've talked about how this is your big level right here. I said $40 would be resistance. Where did silver stall out today? Right here at $40. Now, again, it's not to say that it can't get through this level. It very well could, but we still have to respect it and watch here. This is the battle, right? If you're looking for where price battles, in other words, where do bulls and bears fight it out tooth and nail, this is your level here on silver. So monitor this. Let's see who wins the battle here. If it breaks above and confirms, then bulls win. And it probably goes to $48 to $50 per ounce. But again, if they don't win, you could have a decent-sized pullback. We'll cover those levels next week. All right. A couple other charts here to go over. We have the oil chart. And oil, again, not doing a whole lot, remaining basically stuck between this upsloping line. Interestingly enough, I'm using this upsloping line because I still think we could get one more push up in that. But if you look at why it stalled out shy of that line, look at this. Just take your low here, drag that line across, and it goes right through there. So even if you remove this, just to show you,
El Salvador has made a dramatic move in how it manages its Bitcoin holdings, splitting nearly $682 million worth of reserves into 14 separate wallets. Previously, all 6,284 BTC were kept in a single address, a risky setup that left the country exposed if that one wallet were ever compromised. Now, no wallet holds more than 500 BTC, a strategy the National Bitcoin Office says reduces vulnerability and prepares for future challenges, including potential risks from quantum computing. President Nayib Bukele has continued to champion Bitcoin as a central part of El Salvador's economic identity. Officials insist the country is still buying one Bitcoin each day, adding steadily to the reserve. They argue that using unused addresses with hashed public keys offers stronger protection, aligning with global best practices for crypto custody. While analysts believe quantum computing may not threaten Bitcoin for decades, El Salvador's proactive restructuring signals a forward-looking approach. Yet, questions remain. The International Monetary Fund has challenged claims of daily Bitcoin purchases, citing official disclosure showing no acquisitions since February. This contradiction leaves doubt about the true pace of accumulation, even as the country positions itself as a pioneer in Bitcoin security. If you have been watching so far, thank you so much for watching. And do not forget to subscribe to Bitcoin Zella for daily news all for free. That's all for today's video. Until next time.